right, and it is confusing. But yeah, just to do this kind of tag team match, a glorified one at that, and it's bad enough doing that, but then to try and think of reasons why the people in these teams would actually care, it's even harder. I mean, the clutching at straws perhaps that Randy Orton has a relationship with Ric Flair, or they had one in the past, being part of Evolution and sort of taking him under his wing a little bit. That's okay, but then you're really struggling to find other people about why they should care about this match. And Seth Rollins being in it as the champion, that's very confusing as well. You should actually have a standalone kind of match for your champion, I believe, at these events.
Absolutely. And yeah, the only sort of our big takeaway was, of course, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic getting brutally beat up by the Beast Incarnate and Brock Lesnar, which obviously then led to SmackDown. Obviously SmackDown, this is really what it was all about. I think they were just giving some to Raw just to say you can have your moment as well whilst we, flash up on Fox. Now, one of the big things, Fox all week, in fact for months, have been really doing a fantastic job with hyping SmackDown. All the sports channels were covering it. I said last time that even during the NFL games, the commentators were like, she's just slammed like the Becky Lynch slams on Friday Night SmackDown, and so they've all got the script, they've all got the paper and the song sheet to get off of here. So they're really behind it. There's no doubt about it. And the only thing was they advertised people like Steve Austin on it on the day, which was odd, and Undertaker, who basically tweeted out they didn't need me. That was very surprising. Someone like the Undertaker to go in like 2 hours before. The thing I'm surprised about that is that even if you don't want it on camera, you could have done something after the show or had Undertaker just, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. So I know fans were actually saying they were unhappy because they were expecting to see Sting and Austin, who were advertised. I will say that much, they were advertised. I'm not saying they didn't get enough, because I actually preferred the way it was, because I don't like keep referring back to bringing people in. But if I was going there to that show and all like months it's been advertised Steve Austin, or I'm a big Sting fan, let's say I'm a huge Sting fan, I'm a kid, and you don't get to see Sting that much, it's like, hang on, I told everyone he's going to be there and he's not. So I'm a little bit surprised they didn't deliver, even just on like off camera stuff, do you know what I mean? But nonetheless, arguably the biggest superstar draw in movies, one of them anyway, The Rock was there. He done a segment with Becky Lynch, regardless of Randy Orton's tweet. He didn't get that moment. And with King Barrett, The Rock, obviously in that segment the ratings were extremely high. It just goes to show he's got draw still. What did you make of having The Rock back, and was it a good use of having The Rock there, or do you think there was something a little bit more better they could have done, or is this what we can't really expect?
Yeah, I enjoyed the segment. I thought it was good, and The Rock, of course, hilarious as ever, and still was witty. I do kind of feel like it's important to find the right people to be in the ring with The Rock, and they just went with Becky because she's probably one of their top stars right now, and that's great. But then you could have had anybody in that kind of ring, and it's great to get that kind of rub off from The Rock, where you get that kind of star power and it rubs off on someone else. I think Becky already has that. I didn't think she necessarily needed that. Didn't need any assist from The Rock. She can have her own standalone moments. Corbin, I guess, is great for him because not many people believe he deserves moments like that. But maybe that's a harsh criticism for him. He's doing the best he can. I mean, the King of the Ring gimmick, it's such a curse these days. To win that, I don't know how you pull that off with any style or class. But yeah, I think it was a good moment for The Rock there. So I gave it a thumbs up from me, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. We had Vince and Stephanie open the show up, of course.
That was bizarre, yeah. Because to have them do that and then know they're there backstage watching everything and then just do nothing else later on, and especially when you have a match later on in the show like Shane McMahon, and if he loses he's gone from SmackDown, and then Vince is backstage just thinking, yeah, good.
Yeah, Vince's moment was Friday Night SmackDown. That was the moment that got him. So as we went on the show, obviously Tyson Fury, the boxer, was in the crowd. A bit unexpected. Like, it was a nice surprise because I wasn't expecting him to be there. Did I think it made sense? Yes, because of the sports side. We spoke about this before. They need Like, I'm surprised they didn't try and get Ronda in, to be honest with you, just because of the name and also the MMA background with the Fox Sports. But they did, this is why I said maybe Brock Lesnar definitely is winning the belt because of that. But Tyson Fury was out there. It was a bit uncomfortable to watch that moment between him and Braun, because it felt like Tyson Fury had been doing this for years and Braun hadn't, because it was just a really awkward moment where Braun just had his fists up and was like, just standing forever. Yeah, it's like, oh man. And then of course the altercation came because he chucked Dolph Ziggler into the barricade, and it sort of hit Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury gets escorted out of the arena. And I thought, are they just going for you get those clips on the news bits after Tyson Fury showed up just to get a bit of attention? Turns out no, there's a bit of thinking and future planning for that, but we'll get to that later. Also, towards the end of the show, of course, the big kind of match that was advertised, the title match. First time I've seen Brock Lesnar on SmackDown in a match since 2004. And it was all of 11 seconds is how much he got there. I wonder how much he got paid for that one. Took him out, F5, bang. Gotta say, just poor old Kofi Kingston. He's had the run since WrestleMania. It felt like, to me, the right person won the belt. I'm not disputing that. However, the way it was done, it's like you shouldn't really care about Kofi for the last 6 months or however long it's been, because it just feels like that just says it all. Like Seth had a battle with Brock and won, but Kofi just no chance, 11 seconds. And I didn't expect it to be like Kofi gets all his hits in, but look at the matches he's had with Daniel Bryan and stuff like that. I was thinking they were going to give something to it, even if it was 5 minutes, but 11 seconds quite surprising. Kofi Kingston summing up that one. Are we ever going to remember Kofi? Is it going to be another Kevin Owens where we just...
I think we'll remember him because it was that feel good moment, wasn't it, where the working guy who put all the hard work in finally got his moment. But then it's a bit tainted because he beat Daniel Bryan, and he had to beat him again because you always got to win your rematch when you win the title, otherwise it looks a bit rubbish. But after that point, what did he do? He fought kind of the B list of people Dolph Ziggler and even Kevin Owens. Great as he is, he's not been remembered as the greatest heavyweight champion. So all of the people that he fought along the road weren't in that category of Brock Lesnar, and then as soon as he comes across someone who in the top tier, he's annihilated. So it does make it look like Kofi didn't belong there, which is really a shame.
He never really truly got the rub. Even with Daniel Bryan, they never done a follow up with it too much. He was just got sort of left behind. So I feel like Kofi didn't really it's not Kofi's fault, it's WWE's poor booking, in my opinion, is why it didn't work out in the end for him. And then of course after that, Rey Mysterio shows up with another mate. Don't mess with Rey Mysterio because he's got a lot of friends in high places, especially fighters. This time, MMA fighter in UFC, former heavyweight champion, the guy that beat Brock Lesnar for his title in 2010, I believe. Cain Velasquez showed up, and of course he's been involved with it was AAA, wasn't it? A few months back. There's been reports about him negotiating with both AEW and WWE, but here he is. He's in, of course, takes Brock down, shoots on him, a few punches thrown, and just them two standing eye to eye each other. It's almost like get the Kofi thing out of the way with and let's move on with this. What do you make of having Cain Velasquez show up and this altercation?
It's a very interesting angle, and there's a few avenues they can go down taking this forwards. What is it going to be, a wrestling match or an MMA match? Who knows, or something in between, but we all kind of assume there's a match coming now, so it'll be a big draw, so it's something to get the casual fans in as well. People that are watching the UFC may well want to tune in and see this. But then I feel like at the same time it's a little bit exposing as well, because those people that do come across from the UFC to see what the WWE has to offer probably won't be as excited as they would if they were seeing this in the UFC. I think there's going to be some theatrics through this.
Yes, I get that feeling as well. That sums that one. More on that a bit later. Okay, Hell in a Cell, the fallout of Hell in a Cell. The critics are calling it the worst pay-per-view of the year. And to be honest with you, without thinking too hard on it, it probably is the worst pay-per-view, other than, I'd say, the Becky match that was on there with Sasha. Like, I kind of feel everything else was completely downhill, and the Hell in a Cell gimmick has been lost. 2 years on the bounce. And it all seems to be, if I'm completely honest, because they're all putting their eggs in one basket for the crown jewel, and it's that time of the year where Hell in a Cell is getting... Basically, Hell in a Cell is just like an angle pay-per-view. It's not even something you need to tune into. Like, you had all that momentum from the week before, and it kind of went out the door with this one. The main event in particular was nothing short of diabolical, really. It was terrible. It was... I said to Matt off air, like, just because you can do all this stuff for the theatrical stuff doesn't mean you should always do it. You know, take some back. Did I mind it being red and all that? Well, I can live with that. But then, oh man, the match itself, how many curb stops did it take? Even I was a little bit like, well, I want to see Bray doing well, but blimey, this is insane. And then the finish, the Hell in a Cell match, to me, it should be the ultimate climax. Like, instead, it's just nothing, because 2 years on a row it's helped nobody get a result. Of course, Bray wins, DQ, but it's like, is that what people wanted? Clearly they was not happy after chance of refund, AEW and all the rest of it were coming out. What did you make of Hell in a Cell, Matt?
Well, yeah, the best bit was the first half hour of it, I would say. That was a good match. But coming into this on the final SmackDown beforehand, they only had about 4 matches announced for this show, which is a bit strange. You're supposed to... Good thing they're not in the business of selling pay-per-views anymore, that's what I'm going to say, because people just sort of tuned into this because they had the network anyway. Hell in a Cell, though, is supposed to be the biggest match in the WWE, isn't it? It's supposed to be finality. Your feud has got to a point where this is the only way to settle this, and no disqualifications is a key part of that, and we're going to get a winner. I mean, for years in Hell in a Cell, we saw Triple H bring out that sledgehammer and use it, and it's been fine, and he just pins him afterwards, and that's it, it's over. But yeah, not this time, not to be. It's to go from something where they do a referee stoppage, is what they claim this is now, a referee stoppage, and then that's realism. But then taking 10 curb stomps and all of that, and getting hit on the head with a toolbox and everything, and a ladder, and then getting up straight away, that's not. They couldn't find the right balance in this, and I think it really did upset a lot of people. We heard the reaction from that. And why are they so afraid to just go in a new direction? People do enjoy Bray's character, and they enjoy the Fiend and all that stuff that comes with it, and it felt like they give him free reign to this, and like expression to Bray to actually do something. And when you have competition, that's great, because you get these people with these creative ideas and take things in new directions, and it improves the business. So I don't get why they muffled that, stifled it, put it in the back burner. I don't know, because they should have just run with something new, and the fans would have, instead of talking about AEW, they would have had something else to talk about at that point, but not to be.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It was a horrendous show, really. I wouldn't bother watching it if you haven't already. Just watch the clips instead. I think you'd be better off. So that was that. It was pretty depressing, considering it had been a really good week in terms of like attention, media outside attention and stuff like that. A bit of a downfall. And of course, Raw from this week, I will say, really, other than the Tyson Fury moment, which again you can just watch out on a clip on YouTube for about 5 minutes, there wasn't an awful lot to shout at home about. They didn't even mention the main event until 2.5 hours through it, so that shows you where their head is with that. And maybe they actually might believe that the crowd, it wasn't the right heat that they were getting that night, and stayed away from that. It wasn't overly fantastic. Moving on, just to sum everything where we're going towards here, of course, Crown Jewel, Matt, we've got to address the elephant in the room here, because this is basically what it's all about, it seems now. We're going to get an announcement, I believe, at the end of this week. depending on when you're listening to this, but we're going to get an announcement where you're going to see, I believe, the announcement of Cain Velasquez and